Welcome to Want to Talk About It, where we talk about everyday subjects with everyday people. And today we're going to talk about being a teen mother and overcoming obstacles while being a teen mother. And we have Andrea Merriweather. I call her Lisa.
Lisa.
I don't know about her government name. She got up there. But with Lisa, I'm biased because I grew up around Lisa. Her family came into my life at the time I needed them when I became a teenage mother. And I have watched this woman be a phenomenal mother of four kids. And she just had one. She had four and still overcame all type of obstacles to become a homeowner. How long you been on your job now?
18 years today, actually.
Been on her job for 18 years. A homeowner, taking care of her kids, seeing some of them through college. We had one in the military. So to do all these phenomenal things with the stigma of being a teenage mother to of being a single mother, and we know how they do us when we have children young. We know how they do it because we dragging these kids around. Don't you know what to do to stop it?
Right.
Yeah, but
Right.
I'm doing those things, but I'm still doing the other thing, and I can't.
You can't make a balance, so you get what you get.
Ain't nobody out here trying to get no children.
Exactly.
We was out here trying to get something else, but we weren't trying to get no children. But it should be more supportive when people are taking care of their kids.
Right.
She had a kid. She took care of them. You keeping them. You ain't got them eating out of a garbage can. You putting a roof over their head. And I just think more support needs to be in that way. And so we're gonna have a conversation with Miss Andrea.
Well, you can call me Lisa. I guess I should have put
Okay, because
Lisa.
I'm gonna slip
Everybody knows me
anyway.
by Lisa.
We're gonna have a conversation with Lisa, and hopefully it helps somebody. So welcome, and thank you for taking out the time
Well, thank you.
today.
Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for seeing in me enough to put me on your show to talk to people and let them have a little hope. Let them know that, you know, don't just let people count you out. Count yourself in. Count yourself in.
Exactly, because Lisa is one of the smartest people I know. She's stupid.
I am not. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
But do you know how smart you got to be stupid? People don't understand it, but she's one of the smartest people I know. She's one of the most hardworking people I know. She has been a great friend and a great mother. And I told her today before we started how proud I was of her. And we got to do a better job of it too.
Yeah.
But how proud I am of her just to see all the things that she's been through and being witness to some of the things that she's overcame. So that's what our conversation is going to be today. So we're going to get this thing started by just talking about how old were you when you had that first baby, and how did you feel when you first found out you got pregnant?
Oh goodness. Um, I was actually 16. I was 16 when
Mm-hmm.
I got pregnant. I was 16 when I had my baby. I felt like I was going to die, like my world was going to end. So, um, when I thought my mama was going to kill me, I knew for certain my dad was going to kill me. My daddy did not take it very well. My mama, of course, the first thing your mother says when you're 16, we're going to take that baby to the shop. I was like, no, ma'am, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. She said, you do realize that your life is about to end. This is your baby. This is your baby. And it's not a baby doll. You just can't throw it down. You just can't change the clothes on it and sit it on the bed and go about your business. This baby's going to be tethered to you because it's not my baby. That's your baby. And she stood by her word. She said, this is your baby. And I had that baby at 16. My mama was working. My father had recently passed away while I was pregnant. Um, my mother paid somebody to watch my child while I went to school to finish high school. And thank you.
I did.
It was a struggle. It was a struggle because I did not graduate with my graduating class. I actually went to summer school, did not pass summer school because I wasn't going. Then I did not go to school the following year, which was 94. And I went to summer school in 94 and finally passed in 94 because I had to get it. Like, she was like, you're going to get it. And she paid for my cousin to keep my baby while I was taking my classes or in school. But after that, I had to get my baby. That was my baby. I was a sure enough teenage mom. She did whatever she could for me. She did whatever she could for him, but it was what she wanted to do and not what she had to do because it was my baby.
And that's kudos because like that support, because they always say if they make you take care of it, you won't have any more, but that wasn't in your
It
case.
was not. It was not. It it seemed like I was having a baby every 2 years. I had a kind of, I'm not gonna say a kind of wild spell. I had a wild
Oh,
spell.
and tell us how many kids you have.
I have four children, ages, let's see, 32, 30, 29. She'll be 29 in April, and 25. Brayton is 25. Darian is ex-military. He went to the Marines. Um, Kira has graduated from Troy with a bachelor's and a master's, and Katera is right now in the nursing program at Shelton. And who did I miss?
The baby.
Brayden. Uh, Brayden actually had a full ride scholarship to Sanford University in Birmingham, where he graduated in December of last year and is now an area manager at Amazon in Huntsville. So I've got four phenomenal kids. Um, great children. I was telling my family this weekend, we had a family event this weekend, and I was telling them this weekend that I've got really good kids. People counted me out and counted my kids out. I can understand them counting me out. I made some decisions that I had to stand down and make some sacrifices for, but don't count my kids out. My kids are phenomenal kids and they're doing great things. Kira is, she is the assistant director of the Upward Bound program at UAB. She is getting certification after certification after certification with her master's. Katera just got married. She's got two beautiful babies, an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. Beautiful baby. She just got married in the nursing program. Darian is like I said, ex-Marine. He's still finding his way, but he is not bothering anybody. He's not bothering me, and I'm not bothering him. And like I said, Brayden is in Huntsville doing his thing. He is the area manager. I could not be more proud of these children, but they could be mechanics, and I'd be proud of them. They
Exactly.
could be managers at McDonald's, and I would be proud of them. And I'm not negating anybody's job, but I am
Hmm.
very proud of these children and the fact that we come from a 3-bedroom apartment in McConnell Hills, basically stacked on top of each other, and for me to have instilled in them the things that I know my parents tried to instill in me that I got away from, but for them to not get away from those things and instill them into their lives makes me proud of them. So I can say, a lot of people tried to count us out, but we still here.
So with that, with the people trying to count you out, what were some of the things that they were saying?
Well, of course, the stigma around being a single parent. Oh, there go Lisa. She got another baby. Lisa done had another. Yep, I sure have. Come on, me and my little ducklings. Lisa done had another baby. She's not gonna do anything. They're gonna be in the projects forever. Or whatever. My kids grew up in the projects in McConnell Hills and didn't even realize that we were in the projects. So, but it's just people always thinking, negatively, like, like I was going to have a generation after generation of, you know in the projects. Like I was going to live in the projects, my kids was going to live in the projects, their kids are going to live in the projects. It's a generational stigma with that, and I see that. Like I see families from the great grandmama to the grandmama to the mother to the child to the grandchild. All you've got generations of families in the projects, and that's one thing that I knew that I did not want to do. I wanted my children to want more because I know that my parents wanted me to want more, and I did want more. Just got caught up, Life
You
happens.
got you got derailed.
Hmm.
You didn't go off the track all the way. You just got a little
Yeah,
derailed.
I
You
got
got
a little
yourself.
my train. You know how a train going down the track and you can hit that switch, and
Uh,
I hit the
go
switch
off
a couple
course.
of times.
Yeah.
I hit the switch and I sat in the yard for a little while. Well, my train sat in the yard for a little while.
And with your decision to go to the project to McConnell Hills, which were the nicer of the apartments, the
Hmm.
smaller of it, not as crime ridden as
Right.
some, but with that decision that you made it as a stepping stone.
Exactly.
It wasn't your final resting place.
Right. I had been trying I had been trying to get out of my mother's house for a long time. And it wasn't my mom is my mom is one of the best people in the world. Me and her have always we've had our rifts with each other, but I've knew that I was doing her some kind of way, just doing her bad, living in her home with my kids. I had been trying to get out. I had moved out when I was about 18 with one of my kids' dads, and we stayed together for about 2 years, and then I moved back home. And after that, I was like, I got to get somewhere to stay. And McConnell Hills was not the very first place I tried. I was all over the Section 8 house, and I was all over the housing authority. I was on waiting list, waiting list, waiting list. And I was calling McConnell Hills and Running Brook, all of those places, like almost every week. Like, do y'all have any availabilities? When are y'all going to have availabilities? Um, and so once I finally was able to move into that apartment, I thought I had hit the lottery just because I was I had somewhere for my children to stay in their
Of your
own space. We were in one bedroom in my mother's house, and I was basically sleeping on a pallet on the floor so that they could have the bed in the bedroom. So it was a challenge. It was a real challenge for me to be where I am now, a homeowner, established and on a job 18 years, a good job at that. Um, it was only by the grace of God, that all of that happened for me and to me. And I overcoming a lot of these stumbling blocks was hard. It was really hard. Um, like I said, my support system, I got one brother and two sisters, and they helped, babysit sometimes or whatever else. And my mom was a stickler on, I'm not keeping no kids. She,
Oh, I know. And let me tell you something about Lisa. She got them cheered and she helped me with my child. Okay, because I became somebody's mama when I was 19. I had no. She was the first person I told I was pregnant. Cause what we gonna do with this baby? Remember we was at Six Flags and I kept saying my stomach still funny
oh my!
because of the ride.
That was like Six Flags, the Boys to Men concert. We had a good weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like a festival. We had saw Boys to
Mary
Men,
J. Blige, Jagged
112. It was
Edge.
a whole
It
bunch
was
of
a
people. It was
lot
my
of them.
first concert. Right after graduation,
Yeah.
we done went, had an amazing time, and I did the free fall. That's the ride I rode. And I put that on that free fall for a whole few weeks until I went to the concert. And they talk about, oh, it wasn't a ride, it was a
No, it
baby.
wasn't a ride. It was another ride.
So God is divine. I always tell people that God is very intentional. And I needed Lisa. I needed Lisa, first of all, to make me not feel bad about my situation. Not because of her situation, but just being that support system. Girl,
Right.
you're going to be all right. Your mama may kill you, but you're going to be alive again.
You ain't
But
gonna die for real.
she gonna die for real. And her mom was a support system because, her mom sat there and told me, your mama gonna be mad,
Hmm.
but it ain't gonna be the end of the world. And our mamas was born on the same day,
Exactly.
like literally on the same day. They 70. My mom would have been 70 this year. Her mom just turned said they were born on the same day. And so that's why I say
Aquarius.
God makes no mistakes. God is divine. And even my mom, I'm gonna be honest with you, my mom had preconceived because I'm an only child. And my mom had biases when it came to Lisa. She
Right.
didn't see the good in Lisa that I saw. She thought Lisa was a sweet girl, she a pretty girl, she a smart girl, but I don't want you around her because she got multiple kids.
Right.
But Lisa was the best thing I had going. And for her to have that bias, that just shows you what the older generation thinks of you versus looking at your heart and looking at the things that you
Right.
do, you
Yeah.
know. And so, be honest with you, Lisa said my mama sick to be on her one
She
time, but we ain't gonna
did.
talk about
she I walk up on that porch and that bee hit me dead in the back of the neck and your mama laughed at me. Oh, I was so mad at her. That was her guard bee.
so outside of your family, did you build an outside village as well?
Well, over the years with our family taking
Oh yeah, you
in.
got a large family.
Yeah, but then our family, whoever we met, the people that we met, became family to us. Just like you. I mean, I was just thinking we've been friends 30 years. A lot of people may not know that. They may not even think that because I'm just not. I don't go out as much as I used to back in the days, but like we've been friends 30 years since 1995. Actually, we've been
Mhm.
friends. Maybe is it longer than that? 95. About 95.
Yeah, it was about 95.
We've been friends 30
Yeah,
years.
94, 95. When I started, it was 94 because I started at Sonics. We were
Oh,
friends.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
I used to have a crush on her brother.
I love that for you. But,
I know.
but, sorry for your loss. But our family embraced a lot of people, and a lot of people came to our house and stayed there. And those people became my brothers and my sisters, like Tamika, a few other people, friends. I don't have many friends. I got people that I associate with, and I'm cool with that. And there's only a handful of people that I do call friend, and but really, with the way life is and the way people are, I didn't really entrust my kids to be around other people because hurt people,
Her big-
and I didn't want my kids to be hurt and then have to grow up to hurt other people. So I kept my children close to me and my family close to me because I didn't want anything to happen to my kids. I didn't want anything to happen to my family. So my support system was basically my family and my friends, the people that were around me every day.
So with that being said, you have four
Mm-hmm.
kids. You're trying to balance a work life. You're trying to balance a personal life, whatever that looks
Oh,
like. What
baby.
did it look like for you?
Um, it took me a while to get it together. Um, I had been braiding hair since I was about 12. So majority of the money that I made was from braiding hair or doing hair. You remember that microwave ponytail?
Man, listen. When this one first came out, that's the first before these curls up. I was like, I got a microwave ponytail.
Yes, yes. But I was doing hair for majority of the time until, let's see, when I moved out of my mom's house in 2000. And yeah, in 2000, I was doing hair, and I was making really good money doing hair, micro braids. I was curling, weaving, doing all kinds of things until I decided, until I decided that these children need some insurance. Like I need some insurance. I can't just keep getting these teeth. Side teeth matter. I can't just keep going to the dentist and getting these teeth pulled. I need to be able to fix them because I got to eat. I'm fat. I got to eat. And so, you know, one of my children developed really bad eczema. The medications was like for the size of a toothpaste tube with toothpaste was like $1,000. And no, I couldn't afford that. I couldn't braid enough hair to pay for one tube of cream. So I decided to get a job. A friend of mine was working at BF Goodrich. She said they've got a student program. I was actually at Shelton in the cosmetology program, but I finished the cosmetology program and then I went directly to BF Goodrich because I needed some insurance and them children needed insurance. So balancing that work life at first was pretty cool because I was doing hair at home. But when I started working at BF Goodrich on rotating shifts, 3 to 11, 11 to 7, 7 to 3, it was hard. Like I had to really depend on like my sister to, pick my children up after school when I was on 3 to 11. I was working weekends 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. A lot of times I had to leave them at home.
Because
Um,
how old was your oldest when you started
Darian
working?
was 15, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in 92. 15, 14. He was about to turn 15 when I started working. And so
Mm-hmm.
I had a notebook. I had taught my children how to wash their own clothes since they were like 8. They were very independent, very self sufficient children. So I trusted them to leave them at home. Did they get in trouble? Yes, but that's I mean they're gonna always don't go outside, and as soon as they see my car hit the corner, they outside. They running diving in the house. But I left a notebook with their chores. They had each one of them had their own bedtime, like their own bath time. They had to do such and such and have everything done by the time I got home. And they were really good kids that I trusted them, for majority, for the times when I could not be there. It was hard for me. There were plenty of days when I was just like, this is too much. I can't keep leaving these kids. My sister was supposed to pick them up, she didn't. Their grandparents were supposed to pick them up, they didn't. It was a lot of variables that I couldn't control, but I'm so grateful that it turned out the way that it did.
And I mean, and then I had already gave them structure. You had already gave them the chores, the
Hmm.
bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, to me, listening to that is an integral part because kids are gonna be kids.
Right.
I know what people say. My child wouldn't do that. You
You don't know
listen.
what
You
your
don't know
children are
what
going to
they
do
gonna do.
outside of your presence.
My mama was strict, and I still love the drug dealer.
Oh yeah.
Still love the one. Okay. Stayed in places that I went used to be in University Mountain. Places that I wasn't supposed to be in.
Right.
And she probably rolling over on her grave finding this information out. And so with my mama being as strict as she was, even when I got pregnant, she asked me how that happened because she really felt like she knew where I was all the time. And I had to remind her that legs do open before midnight. It's just not it's not a
Yeah.
late night thing. So children will be children, but I always feel like if you set a foundation, they'll always come back
Hmm.
to what they're supposed to do, and then you hold them accountable. And so, the age of staying at home by themselves is 12, so 14, but I know what you're meaning as far as
Yeah. 14-year
you don't
old
want,
taking care of her brothers and sisters.
right.
That.
And you don't want to put him in
Right.
that space, but I think it makes y'all already grew up together.
Right. Because
Um,
because having kids does not come with a manual. Like nobody knows. It does not come with a manual. I was telling them the other day. I think that I was a good mom. I didn't do everything right. I'm still not doing everything right. And I'm still gonna get some things wrong. Like even with our relationships, in interacting with each other. I still get some things wrong. Me and one of my babies clash all the time, but it's because we're so
mhm.
much alike, and it's because we both feel like our feelings are validated, and we butt heads because we really stop listening to each other because we both want to get our point across. But at the end of the day, you have to step back and realize that everybody's feelings are validated, and everybody's perspective is different. So. Um,
And how did you, with them from being kids to adults, since we're here, how was that transition as far as treating them like adults? Have they became like your little friends with some guidance?
Basically,
Or
yeah. They not my little friends. They my big friends. Like for real, for real. Like my daughter Kira turns 30 in April, and she says, "I want my mama there, my sister, and a couple of my friends because I don't judge them as adults. Like I set the foundation for y'all to be self sufficient, to be independent, to know how to do things, to know if you don't know how to do things, to find out how to do them or pay somebody to do it. But I set the foundation for them to be able to be successful adults, so that when they come to my house and when I go to theirs, I treat them that way. I treat them as adults. I treat them. You don't forget that I'm your mom, and you still have to be respectful. But in your space is your space, and my space is my space, we we just treat each other with respect, and I treat them like they're adults. Like, I don't judge them. I don't get into their business, their relationships, things like that. I have learned that I have to let them make the mistakes that they're going to make. Am I going to be here for them? Yes. If they fall, if they're crying, if anything goes wrong, I'm gonna listen, baby. I'm gonna just tell them the truth, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. So whatever's going on, you take what I have to say, you take what you think, and you make your decisions. Because at the end of the day, you got to pay the consequences for the decisions that you make. So, and I've always taught them that whatever decisions you make, you're the one that's got to take the consequence for it. So, our relationships are really good. Um, I don't have any negative thing to say, except we do clash
And that's
sometimes.
good to see, because you'll go through social media. I had got on the side of TikTok where people, some of they was going no contact with their parents.
Mm,
Um, my mama was a butthole, but she was mine. She showed love in her own different way,
yes, you
but I
did.
could never see, yeah, but I could never see going no contact. She even ruined my baby shower.
Yeah,
You remember that?
yeah.
But years later, it took me to, so my mama had a miscarriage when I was 13.
Mm.
So she had a stigma of, if you buy stuff for a baby before it was born, something
Right.
would. I didn't realize that until I had baby number two, of the reason why she don't like baby showers.
Uh-huh.
So instead of her telling me that, she just getting vicious and mean and tell me
Mm-hmm.
what I didn't know. But she didn't come from a place of, just like your mama. Your mom has gotten, your mama had something my mama didn't have.
Right.
Um, my mama had eighth grade education. Nobody told her to talk about her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no counseling and like that. Your mama was more in tune with her feelings. Even though they was born on the same day,
Mm-hmm.
they got some stuff for, like, real honest up front. They ain't gonna sugarcoat anything.
Right.
But your mom was more in tune with her feelings than my mom was in tune with hers. So all her stuff would come out in anger. And it took me to be older to realize that it's her fear
Yeah.
that
I was
was
just gonna
on.
say that they operated more in fear than in love. But then, it's like how we interact with our children is so different from how their parents interacted with them. My mama had 10 brothers and sisters, so it was 11 of them. I cannot even think of how any of them would have had the love that that you give towards a smaller family setting. I could not see her getting, the hugs or the I love yous, because, to tell you the truth, I was an adult before me and my mom started telling each other that we love each other. Like, so
Listen,
even though, like you say, your mom was not in tune with her feelings, it took my mom a long time to realize that I don't have to be that way with my kids the way my parents were with their kids. Like, they had to be that way because it was so many of them, but I don't have to be that way with mine. And I show my children, I tell them all the time, I don't hang up the phone without telling them I love them. Even if we've argued, I still love you. I still send out a text. I love you. I love y'all. We got a group chat. These damn fools. Yeah, that's us. These damn fools.
I call mine 42 hours
Excuse me.
of labor. Yeah, I call mine 42 hours of labor,
Yeah.
my group chat.
So
And yeah,
yeah.
like you said, just growing up, and you get, because my mom was one of eight.
Mm,
And so to be able to still instill in them some, because she didn't get everything wrong.
mm,
Still being able to instill that in them and still have a relationship with them as adults, and them being able to come tell me stuff, to me feels like I won. Because like you said, parenting,
yeah.
even with the parenting books, they don't know your child.
Those parenting books are a joke, because they a joke, because who feed that
You
baby
don't
every
know
four
my
hours?
child, right?
You
You
feed
don't
that
know
baby
my
every 4 hours. You feed that baby every.
child.
whenever he get the crunch shot, put a bottle in that baby mouth. Like it's nothing. Um, what you call it? Nothing storybook, nothing notebook, nothing textbook about being a parent. There's nothing textbook about being a single parent, and there's nothing that can tell you how to treat, because each child is different. So you can't treat each child the same.
And let's throw a monkey wrench in there. There's no book to tell you how to parent with a special person. Because you ain't supposed to use the R word no more. A special needs person that ain't special needs. How do
Do
you
you
parent
mean the child or do you mean the daddy?
that?
Because baby,
So not only do you have to deal with your children, you still have to deal with the fathers as well.
and that's if they're involved, because
Mhm.
like I said, I was I had children by four different men, and that's my story, and I don't care what y'all say about it.
It is. It's here now.
Yeah, they grown. My look, I'm still young and spry, but
Listen, my
but
grandmama had a saying because my grandmama got multiple baby
uh-huh.
daddies. And I asked her why so many different last names amongst her 8 kids. And my grandma said, you never let the same man make a fool of you twice.
There you go.
If he wasn't doing that for that baby, why would you lay up and have another
Okay,
one with
okay. So I had two very active fathers and two inactive fathers, and one of those um one of those dads did come back around later on in life, and I applaud him for that, but that's their relationship and not ours. So I didn't have to deal with him that often. My oldest son actually was fortunate enough to have grandparents and a dad that stepped in, a guy that I was dating, and stepped in and helped take care of. And they actually helped with all four of my kids. Actually, there was nothing that I didn't, nothing that my kids did not need that they did not help with, and I was fortunate enough to have those people in our lives for a while. But dealing um, with deadbeat dads, I didn't either they was gonna do it or they wasn't. At the end of the day, these are my kids. I've got to make sure that they're taken care of. I've got to make sure that they have clothing. I've got to make sure that they have whatever they need for school. And there was a lot of times when I would stand on the back porch and I didn't even smoke, but I'd smoke a cigarette because I was trying to figure out some things. Like, my children never saw me cry, and I cried many nights because I never wanted them to see me between a rock and a hard place. Like I said earlier, they didn't know. They didn't know that I was struggling. I was struggling mentally. I was struggling physically. I was struggling emotionally, um, and they didn't know it because I didn't want them to see that. I didn't want them. Sometimes they say, well, your kids got to see you struggle. Not really. You want them to know how to get out of the struggle, but I don't want them to learn how to get in the struggle.
Yeah, I think with children, especially my children, for whatever reason, I remember hearing Jay tell his dad and mama rich, we at the mall.
Yeah,
No, we not. It's income tax season, boy. Stop telling my business.
baby. Ooh.
But I think for kids, and again, we're no experts. For me, I felt like my kids needed to see me persevere. I think
Yeah.
for me, my kids needed to see me be who I
Hmm.
am. Even with losing my mom, not trying to break down. Like you see me cry, but death is going to happen,
Right.
and you
It's
can't
inevitable.
just ball. You can't just ball up. When things happen, you can't just ball up. And so with your kids, they need to feel safe.
Yeah.
And if they see you crying all the time, what you think they're gonna do?
Oh, there go mom again. You know, yeah. So I mean, I just did not want to create the fear that I lived in every day. Like, cause most
Mhm.
times, like I said, I was doing hair, but it was not. I'm not gonna say I wasn't making good money, because I was, but it just wasn't stable enough for me. I needed something, that was gonna be stable, super stable. Had I finished and gone into a shop and gotten my own, that was my dream to get my own salon and spa.
Mm.
But like I said, I made the better choice to sacrifice for them. But I didn't want for them to, I didn't want them to see me struggle and feel like I can't get things done because, I didn't want them to feel like it was their fault. Like like we're the reason why you can't do the things that you want to do, or we're the reason why um we on food stamps, or we're the reason why we're in this apartment. Um but my kids were happy kids, and they still are happy kids. They knew when food stamp day was because we were eating taco salad. Like you said, your son thought you was rich, but it was income tax. They knew on the 15th. Oh, we going to the store. We gonna push this car because I didn't even have a car. We walked to the grocery store. We walked to Walmart and pushed the buggy from Walmart to my back door on many occasions.
And for them, that was
That
normal.
was
You know what
normal.
I'm saying?
Yeah, that was normal. I
Mhm.
didn't even have a car. And when I did have a car, I had borrowed somebody's car, or I finally was able to buy a car, and I had a 1999 Ford Taurus. They thought I had a limousine. These kids thought I had a limousine, and they loved that car, and I love that car, and but I can't say like I had a car before then. My mom had, after my dad passed, my mom had bought us cars, and I wasn't appreciative of it, so I didn't wreck it. If something was wrong with it, I left it at the shop, and then I left it at the shop. Took it to the shop and left it at the shop. I didn't have the money to
Um,
get it out, so I just left it.
listen, cars repo as a you doing creative finance, and you do what you got to do. Um,
Exactly.
now that your kids are grown,
Hmm.
it's Lisa time. What is Lisa doing with her time? What is next for Lisa with grown children?
Well, since my children are grown, I have a lot of time to myself. I have gotten active, very active with the union on my job, the local steelworkers union. I am the new financial secretary. I am active on the Alabama Labor Council. What else? I'm active with time study. There's a time study on our jobs where we actually set points for movement. So I'm active doing that. I'm very active, with the union. I also, in my spare time, I I just do whatever makes me happy. I'm going to concerts. I'm going to comedy shows. I am spending time with my grandchildren. I am um, sitting at home drinking wine, a lot of wine. I just bought me a brand new Ninja slushie. I'm slushing up everything. um, like I see stuff all the time. Like I be wanting to go to Catch a Taste. You at Catch a Taste tonight?
Yes.
I be wanting to go to Catch a Taste, but sometimes my feet and my bra won't let me. If this bra ain't on, I ain't leaving out the house. So if I got this bra on, if I keep this bra on all day, I might be at
Right. I
Catch.
got a chance of going
I
somewhere.
got a chance of going somewhere. But if I get off of this here live and go in that bedroom and sit down on that bed and snap this bra, I'm probably not gonna make it. I've been trying to catch a tase. Like I'm not even gonna tell no stories. I've been trying to catch a tase for a long time, but my bra and my shoes won't let me. They won't let me.
And it depends on the proximity of my house. Right. If
I
you
mean,
think
it's
we
just
going
right
to
across the bridge. It's just right across the
it's just
bridge.
hey, listen, husband, you always doing something. I know, and I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I'm tired.
Like,
And so we're gonna wrap this up with
okay.
the last question. Well, I want you to talk to your younger self, like if something that you needed to hear, or if you could talk back to your younger self, what is it would you would tell her, especially where you are now, because you seem happy.
I am. I can't even tell a tale. Like I have never been so unbothered in my life. I have never been so not worried in my life. Like, oh my goodness, I can't even begin to say. But for me to tell, I would say talking to my younger self and even talking to young adult women, um, some things you just don't supposed to do. Don't do it. And but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do the things that, people tell you you can't do. Like don't let people count you out. Don't let other people's perceptions of you discourage you from becoming your best self. Because at the end of the day, you've got to live with the choices that you make. And whether you choose to be a parent, a single parent, or whether you choose not to, you still have to be true to yourself. And you have to learn which battles to pick. That was a big one for me. You still can win the war and lose a few battles, but learn which battles to pick. Learn to sometimes, like I know Tamika chooses violence, but and I do too. Don't get me wrong, because I will throw these balls, but but just learn to walk away from certain things. Just like everything was a challenge for me. Like I wasn't backing down from nothing. Oh, you okay? So some things you got to learn to back down from, and just be you unapologetically. Just be you unapologetically, and your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid.
That's very important. Your feelings are valid, and don't let nobody make you feel bad.
Right.
Decisions you made, like the baby here now,
You can't do nothing but
or
rock.
not, or not,
Mm-hmm.
or
Or
not.
not.
That is a decision, or not. Again, I want to thank you for taking out the time today, and I love you so very much.
Thank you, and I love you too. And I'm so
You
proud
have
of you. Like all that you're doing, all that you have done, all that you're going to do, because I see nothing but brightness ahead for you. And I love you, and I'm so proud of you and your platform. And I'm so proud that you have a voice that people are listening to. I'm proud of you for that.
I would have never thought. I would have never.
like I said, I don't get out much. I see you. I see you, and keep moving, and don't let people discourage you in any kind of way. Don't let them do that, because you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna say yes, and you're gonna have even more people that say no. So just don't negate the ones that say yes because you're mad at the ones that say no. But yeah, I'm always proud of you. I've been proud of Kay, proud of Jay, proud of your kids. So I think we did a good job in spite of. So
We kept them alive.
we kept them alive.
First step, we kept them alive.
They fell a
Fed.
few times
Right.
right off the bed, but they still here. But
But you have a great evening, and hopefully I'll see you later.
if this bra stay on, all right. I love you, sweetie.
I love you.
Bye bye.